Hi, these comments are for DD. I am Michael from OTC, OnlineTOEFLCourse.com. I'm getting ready to listen to your independent speaking practice test, right? So, as you just saw, I actually have the rubrics right here for the independent speaking, and I have your topic here. So, let's see. Michael, please listen to, evaluate, score, and provide feedback on my independent speaking practice test 5. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So the question here is name a person whom you admire. Why do you admire him or her so much? Use reasons and examples to support your response. All right, here we go. Let's see how you did on this one.
A person that I admire very much is called Sheikh Mustafa, and he's a very intelligent person. He took a PhD in petroleum, and he is a very smart person. But the reason that I admire him is that he is, at the same time that he is a busy man, he's also a preacher. He's a very religious person. He talks about religion very much, and he always tells students and other people to value and education while at the same time valuing their tradition and religion.
You speak like you're at a funeral or something where you can't talk very loudly. So I don't know what's going on with that, but you're going to have to show me a lot more enthusiasm, a lot more variation in your intonation if you want to score higher. Okay, so let's look at it again. So name a person whom you admire. Why do you admire him or her so much? Okay, so I think on this, I'm going to put 2.5, about 17 to 18 points out of 30. I think that's probably a pretty accurate score. I'd like to have you organize ideas together better. You might consider four things here. Think about using transition words as a way of showing the connection of your ideas. You can sometimes repeat or repeat or rephrase key ideas, I think, is a way of organizing. You can use determiners and pronouns and even parallelism sometimes. So you need to connect things together a little bit better. Let's listen to it one more time.
A person that I admire very much is called Sheikh Mustafa, and he's a very intelligent
How about you give the name and say, who is a blah, blah, blah?
person. He took a PhD in petroleum, and he is a very smart person. But
What if you said something like this? What if you said, um, because of his high education and his personality traits, blah, 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 is a person whom I admire. Say, first of all, my friend has set a very high education standard for me and other people. You talk about that. Say, second of all, my friend also has a very infectious personality that people like. Then you explain that. Then say, for these two reasons, I admire him a lot.
the reason that I admire him is that he is, at the same time that he is a busy man, he's also a preacher. He's a very religious person.
So I think you're trying to bring up too many different things here. So the speaker who does everything does nothing because you don't have enough time to support all of these ideas.
Talks about religion very much, and he always tells students and other people to value and education while at the same time valuing their tradition and religion.
Okay. So I think my score is pretty accurate. So I'm going to put you at 17 to 18 points out of 30. So with your delivery here, what would I like you to do? You have here unclear articulation, awkward intonation, or choppy rhythm. I think you have problems in at least with the awkward tone and the choppy rhythm. You have a lot of kind of pauses and hesitations in there. You need to work on that. So in my online course, I'd like to have you work on intonation, pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. I think that's going to help you get moving in the right direction. You can also focus on thought groups and blending. Again, I think that's a really, really good lesson for you. Pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. I think language use, your grammar, vocabulary are a little bit basic. So for vocabulary, focus on learning the words in vocabulary lesson number 4, 5, and 6. I think that's going to be helpful for you. And then also in the grammar part, you can maybe take the grammar diagnostic pretest and kind of see what your problems are. Excuse me. See what your problems are, and then you can kind of study those lessons. Topic development, this is really bringing you down. So go to speaking lesson number 6, right? How to make your speaking more coherent. I think that's a good start. Go through that lesson, try to apply what you learned in the next practice test this week or next week. In addition, check out the independent speaking strategies lesson number 1. It's a master lesson. I think go through that lesson, particularly paying attention to the mock responses and how they're organized, and then try to organize your practice test accordingly. And thank you for completing this practice test. Remember that review the lessons, right? This isn't just about completing practice tests. It's about completing a practice test, identifying weaknesses, and then studying lessons to improve those weak points, and then continuing with your speaking practice. That's how you make improvements. Thank you for doing this practice test.